And that's the story of how I lost my small toe.
Oh my God,
Yeah, I know, it's pretty crazy. Hey, I gotta head off now, but yeah, hey, watch out for those piranhas, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see you later, man. Alright, have a good one.
See you
Cool,
later,
bye.
boy.
What a guy. Love that guy. Kai Whiston is a producer from Bristol, I think, and he has a new album. It's a debut album. It's called Kai Whiston Bitch. Very blunt. In your face, rebellious, not giving a fuck. Just so much attitude in that title right there. A little edgy as well. And I think all of those descriptors I just gave you sum up this album pretty nicely as well. Sound-wise, you can expect something very similar to that of Mr. Igloo Ghost. This album bangs. Shit's fucking flames, dude. It is my shit. This is admittedly, for me, this is the kind of thing I would typically gravitate towards. So, biased, maybe. But yeah, I can tell you right now, if you're an Igloo Ghost fan, don't miss this at all. This is 100% up your street. It's not quite as bubbly and happy and glitzy as an Igloo Ghost song would be, or an Igloo Ghost album would be. This album is a lot more twisted and warped and fucked up. Even if the production is really beautiful and crisp and gleaming, I think the tone of these songs, they're really troubled, they're really kind of dark. You've got manic vocal shrieks, insane sound effects that sound like rubber being stretched or some shit like that. Hard fucking kicks, oppressive sub bass, fucking really sharp snares, fucking insane vocal manipulation as well, loads of hard drops, really ominous intros to some of these songs, especially the opening track, which starts off with a pretty cinematic tone as it kind of has these sort of like screeching kind of feedback noises, and the way it kind of builds in and then hammers down with that huge bass drop. It's pretty fucking nihilistic. This album doesn't give one shit about how you feel or who you are. It is the musical representation of someone's troubled thoughts just going insane for 40 minutes. It's non-stop, it's full throttle. There's very rarely a moment with that like it slows things down. The only like vivid moment I can remember where things kind of got a little bit more tame was on the second half of the 7-minute long For Fuck's Sake, where this sort of guitar loop kind of came in and he sort of made like a little beat out of that, and it was kind of tranquil and nice compared to the destruction of most every other track on here. And that moment honestly felt a little bit tacked on and awkward. I think For Fuck's Sake is actually probably one of the weaker songs. I think the really oppressive, like fucking harsh, like bass growl on this track, it's pretty sick at first, but it does kind of get shoved down your throat a little bit, and it gets a little bit annoying to me. Some of these tracks can feel a bit obnoxious, and sometimes I can't tell if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I think a lot of the more kind of wild and untamed, obnoxious, in-your-face and gaudy moments kind of result in some of the most ecstatic highs on this thing, but they can also lead to some tracks that I'm really conflicted on, like the track Mushy Sighs. I admired this song for existing. I don't know how the fuck anyone could come up with it. This track baffles me that someone thought of this and made it. Like the intro, that like fucking sample, that like news report sample, and then that kind of jovial thing comes in, and then you hear like, and then it turns into this insane beat with this like moaning voice that then gets warped into this like high-pitched voice, and it's fucking ridiculous. And then you have the outro too, which is completely unlike anything else that came before it, and the way it's all strung together doesn't really have much of a concern at all for it being super seamless or like well transitioned. It's just completely just throwing it at you. And I don't know how to take it. It's wild. It's a roller coaster. I think I enjoy it, but I don't know if it's all that well organized as like a song experience. And that's the thing with this album. Every track is trying to be fucking oppressive and destructive. So don't expect much in the way of tonal nuance or variety here. There is one song that actually features Clarence Clarity, which has a pretty different groove to it from the other songs, a little bit more off kilter, I guess. I was kind of hoping Clarence Clarity's inclusion would make for a song that sounded a little bit more colorful and maybe more vibrant, given that's kind of how his music is, but he just kind of seemed to add just like this little vocal line that's like, you see me. I don't really think it added that much to the song for me, and I'm not sure if he did have a hand in the production as well, but it wasn't really evident. This kind of sounded like something that Kai Whiston would do himself. It sounds like most every other track. Musically, I guess the sound palette was pretty similar. But some of my big highlights in this thing would have to be the opening track, the All Is Fair in Love in Kai Whiston, which that like reverb, little vocal chirp, like breakdown bit that comes in around midway through the track, I think is really great. And the way it comes back, the beat, just with that like weird warped, like stretching, like fucking noise. I don't know what the hell, how the fuck to describe it. It's really hard to describe, but yeah, it's fucking sick, whatever it is. The third track I thought was awesome. I loved that little vocal sample, that like boo, boo. It was really weird, and I thought it fucking slapped. I thought it sounded so sick. And the outro of this song was really gorgeous. The way those bells kind of came in was really pretty. Another big highlight is going to be the song Brain Fritter, which has this pretty sick electric guitar on it, and I think the The main like fucking drop, the main beat is insane. The sound design is fucking mental. Some of the sound effects he was using was fucking ridiculous. And it's such a wide song too. The texture here is just thick as shit. Not a single ounce of empty space on this song. It's really dense. And I love the song Trade You. I think Trade You is probably my favorite song. I think the beat on this track is fucking phenomenal. I love how it spends a good amount of time building up with that kind of like weird warped like kind of reverse loop. And I love how the snare on this track, the way it like pings off and like comes back and then gets paired up with that like insane like bass growl. I think it's fucking awesome. Then you hear that like kind of high pitched kind of soulful vocal thing that I think pairs so well with the beat, and the final track has one of the most cold-blooded drops on this whole fucking record. I think as one note as this record kind of is, it's pretty, every track is just shooting for the same really aggressive, nihilistic, blunt, harsh, I don't give a fuck about anything, Kai Whiston bitch, like edgy, like fucking feel. It's really sounds quite tortured and fun. I'm gonna give it a 7 though. Strong 7. Definitely my kind of thing. I would recommend it. I think it's really fun. It's overbearing. It's fucking in your face. Sometimes that can be to its detriment in some cases. It's a little bit sloppy here or there. As an album experience, it is a little bit one note, but if you're looking for some fucking bangers, dude, this thing has got you. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a strong 7. I enjoyed it. Those are my thoughts on Kai Whiston Bitch by Kai Whiston. Thank you for the thank you. I was about to say thank you for the review, but I did the review. Whatever. Thank you for watching the review, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.